Welcome everyone to Yoga Therapy Thursday night. And today we are working with the hips. We're working with the psoas in particular. We're working on strengthening the inner and outer thighs. When you're ready, lie down. And if it's comfortable, put your feet at the wall. Otherwise, you can have your legs bent. You could be lying on a carpet or the bare floor or a yoga mat, whatever suits you. When you're ready, inhale, arms coming up. And exhale, arms coming down. Just doing about 6 breaths just to arrive. Any shoulder injuries, you can alternatively bring both arms to the sides and up and exhale down, or you could bend the elbow as you come down. So that's for those with shoulder injuries, you might want to try that. Those of you who feel comfortable, you could stay in the pose, otherwise keep it moving. And just breathe here. And hold opposite elbows. Or interlock the fingers, arms overhead. And just finishing up. Exhale, hands down. And then grabbing a block, a pillow, or a bolster. I'm going to start with the bolster. Oh, someone's trying to join us. I'm just going to let them in. So just put the block or bolster between your thighs and just start working on exhaling while I'm letting this person join. There we go. Perfect. Okay, good. So let's just, in the pose, take your bolster between your legs. And you're going to exhale, you're going to squeeze the bolster. And inhale, release. You can do this with a bed pillow or any other, like a cushion from your couch. Something that you can squeeze. A block also works, but you can't squeeze it in the same way. A physio ball can be nice. You have a nice physio ball to squeeze. Inhale, expand, exhale, draw in. Now, when you do this drawing in, I think we did it with a block last week. Today we're doing it with a bolster. As we draw in, we're going to breathe from the belly down to the feet to work on Apana Vayu. Exhale, belly button in, lower belly, pelvic floor. Squeeze the thighs, feel the calves, feel the feet. Inhale, expand. And you might breathe from the feet up as you inhale, just changing that direction of the breath right now. Exhale, we're going to breathe down to the feet. So drawing in the belly button, the stomach area, and lower belly, pelvic floor, thighs squeezing. Feel the feet. Inhale, breathe from the feet up as you release the body. Just keep this going your own time. If you want to add on, and you can add a hold after exhale. and engage, pulling up on the pelvic floor and squeezing as hard as you can into that block, and inhale, release. And just keep that going. This is really helpful to do to obviously strengthen the inner thighs. You can probably feel that about now in the core, but it's used for emotions as well. It's very grounding for us emotionally. This is used in trauma sensitive yoga, trauma informed yoga. To ground. Today we're continuing to work with that second chakra, and you're probably feeling that whole lower belly area really working. Let's do one more. Okay. So if you have just a cushion, you can leave that. The bolster is a little tough for the bridge pose, but you can use it. I have used it, but I'm going to switch to a block now. And again, a cushion is nice, or a physio ball, because you can squish into it a bit more. I'm going to demo with a block. We're going to start adding some pelvic tilting. So you're going to inhale and bring your arms up. Just notice how your back arches as you do that. Just feel that back arch. And exhale, bring your arms down, and just exhale any way that you exhale, and feel how your tail tucks under, and you can exaggerate that movement of the pelvis a little bit. So inhale, maybe the pelvis tilts forward. You can add the arms if you like. And exhale. Now, let's try it with the arms down and just focus rather than on the upper back arching, just the lower back arching as you inhale. So inhale. Notice how the lower back moves away from the floor. And exhale. Notice how the lower back comes to the floor. So we're just going to exaggerate that movement. Inhale, pelvis is going to tilt forward, and you're going to arch the back. The lower back moves away from the floor, if that feels okay in your lower back. And exhale, tuck the tail under. And squeeze that block at the end of the exhale. Inhale, just expanding the belly. Feel the pelvis turn forward, and exhale, tucking the tailbone under, squeezing that block. We're going to go more the classical direction of breathing here. So you're going to exhale from the pelvic floor to the belly button. And when you do that, you'll feel that this really leads to this movement of the pelvis. And you're going to inhale from the chest down to the belly. You're going to exhale from the bottom up, pelvic floor to belly button, and chest falls. And you're going to inhale from top down. So this is leading to some lower back work next week. We'll take that further. We're going to lift up now. So we're going to exhale as we lift just the hips off the ground. So you're going to exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in as you lift just the hips off. Leave the lower back on the floor. And inhale, come out. So we're just going to do that movement. Exhale, come up. Bring the hips off the ground as you exhale, and just isolate the lower back and the hips. You can feel the hips more now. Inhale, coming out. Just that. Exhale, come into the bridge. So this is the opposite breathing that we usually do in bridge. We're going to exhale up and inhale down. Just the lower back moving off the floor. Squeezing that block or bolster or pillow as you exhale. Feel that all the way down to your feet. Inhale, release. Okay, we're going to add on. Exhale, just lift the lower back off the ground. You're going to inhale, you're going to bring the arms overhead and add the chest to the pose now. You're going to do full bridge to Vipadapita. And you're going to exhale, roll all the way down from the top of the spine down to the lower back. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, lift just the hips off the ground. Tuck the tail under, breathing from the pelvic floor up to the belly button. Inhale into the chest and into the belly as you lift the whole back off the ground, including the upper back. Tuck that chin in. And exhale, you're going to roll down. And you're breathing from the pelvic floor up to the chest. It's just the normal breathing pattern. Just adding this lower back piece. Inhale, stay. Exhale, lift just the hips off the ground. So I'm just getting you to isolate the lower back from the upper back and feel how that goes into the hips a lot. And then inhale, lift the hips higher and lift the chest higher as you come up, all the way up. And exhale, rolling down. As you breathe from the bottom up, you roll from the top down. All right, this time we're going to stay in the pose. So inhale, just lift the hips off the ground, go into the full pose. So you're breathing all the way to the chest. Tuck the shoulders underneath. And you're going to breathe and stay here. As you inhale, try to lift the hips higher. As you exhale, squeeze that block. Inhale, try to lift higher. Exhale, squeeze that block. And again, this one works really well with a pillow that you can squish into. Inhale, lift as high as you can. Exhale, squeeze. And notice this in your hips. And all those hip muscles. And when you're ready, inhale and exhale, roll down. And we're going to give the back a break. And let's just do windshield wipers as a counter. So I can go off my mat for this one. So inhale, center. Exhale, you're going to bring your knees side to side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Now, if you want, you can turn your head the opposite direction. Turn the same hand down to the floor. As you inhale, head center, exhale, other side. At the end of the exhale, if it's comfortable, you can turn your head. The back of the head goes more towards the side the knees are on, so just be careful of that alignment. Your arms can be any height. They can be by your hips. They can be higher, lower. The palms can be up or down. That's your choice. According to your shoulders, what feels comfortable. We'll just do one more round. After the next one, I'm just going to stay with knees pointing up to the sky. And you're just going to bring one knee down at a time. We did this last week. That internal rotation. You reach the knee towards the big toe of the foot that you're coming towards. Pause after that exhale for a couple of seconds or longer if you like to just hold the stretch a little longer. And just finishing up. Okay. And as another counter, we're going to bring the knees to the chest. Exhale, knees to the chest. And if you like this hip version, inhale, open the knees. And exhale, draw the knees together and in towards the spine. Inhale, open. And just keep that going. You might be feeling your lower back after that bridge work we did. So just trying to give a counter in case that's the case. And you can go the other direction. So this is the classical counter to bridge is asana. This is a hip variation. And sometimes we use the jatra paravriti, the windshield wiper, as a counter also to bridge, because that's very balancing for the hips. And just finishing off, you can hug the knees for a moment or two on top or underneath if you've got any arthritis in the knees, for example. It might feel better to place your hands under the knees and hold that way. And it might feel better to move. Some of you can go into happy baby if you like. Okay. So we're going to grab our bolster, and we haven't done this pose this term yet. And let's see, quite a bit of room for this. So make sure you've got some room around you. And the other prop you need is your block, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Now you can do this with a belt, but we're using the bolster, so you might not need your belt. So lie down and you put that bolster under your buttocks, under your lower back. And this might all change a little bit when you bring your legs up to the sky. I'm just going to warn you that you might bring the bolster a little bit higher up your back. So you'll only know when you get there. It's one of those poses. It's a little tough to teach because every body will feel a little different. I'd say as a general rule, don't bring the bolster higher than your waist. Okay, so when you're ready in this position, you're going to bring one leg down. Now that leg can be bent or it can be straight, so it can be bent, or it can be straight. And then exhale, bring it back. And you could even bring the feet a little bit towards you on that exhale. And then inhale, other side. And exhale, draw the leg up. And again, you might bring the feet towards you. And just keep that going. Now, I want you to think a bit more about using the core as you do this. Inhale, extending. So the core in yoga, we're working with Mula Bandhavat, root walk. You're going to exhale from the pelvic floor to the lower belly, to the belly button in. And then the whole belly is in as you bring the feet towards the nose a little bit or a lot. And inhale, other side. I hope you didn't just eat a big piece of pizza, for example, because you'll be paying for it. We do recommend not having a full stomach when you practice yoga. Exhale, drawing the leg in, engaging from the pelvic floor up, and inhale, leg moves away. And just keep that going. Try to move from the pelvic floor up to the belly button. And when you feel ready, I'm going to see if you can comfortably stay on one side. Now, you could put a belt on your foot. I'm just going to hold the back of my thigh. This has a bit different feeling. And you're going to exhale, draw the knee in. Again, the belt could be on the foot, but I'm doing it just classical Chennai style, holding the back of the thigh. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, bend the in. Now, if this is too much, you can bend the opposite knee. And try to stretch the psoas here, the hip flexors, and the hamstrings, of course, and even into the calves. It's interesting. I haven't done this one without the belt in a while, and it has a different feeling to it. It's definitely more focused on the upper leg and hip. And you can stay in the pose. You can have the hand behind those hamstrings. And as you inhale, we haven't done this term yet. As you inhale, you can press the hamstrings, the back of the thigh, into the hands. And you can even hold there for up to 10 seconds. And then exhale, draw in. Let's try that if you like. It's more of a hamstring stretch, going back to the legs and feet. Now the opposite hip is being stretched with that bolster. And exhale, draw in. Inhale. You can press the leg into the hands. You can count up to 10 seconds. And exhale, release. Just hug that knee into the chest, either underneath or on top. And just rest here. Feel stretching the lower back, in the hip of the leg that's straight. And then we're going to switch sides. Okay. So again, you can use a belt on the foot or hold underneath the thigh, which is usually, in my teachers in India don't use belts. So this is how they hold the leg for these kinds of stretches. So it's nice sometimes to just let some of these props go. Inhale, straighten the leg to the sky. And exhale, bend the knee to the chest. And inhale, straighten the leg. And exhale, knee to the chest. And you can bend that opposite leg if you like. You might be feeling quite a bit of stretch in the hip flexor of that leg that's straight. Just notice that. Just doing that 6 to 8 times. And leaving the leg there. And if you like, as you inhale, pressing the back of the thighs into the hands for up to 10 seconds. Exhale, draw the leg towards you. Inhale, pressing the leg into the hands. Exhale, leg towards you. Just keeping that going. And when you feel complete, bending the knee into the chest, holding underneath or on top of the leg. Feel that stretch in the leg that's straight in front of you. And bringing the legs up to the sky. Exhale, legs towards you. Inhale, legs to the sky. Exhale, legs towards you. This can feel really good in the lower back. Just notice if that's true for you. It might be very decompressing for the lower back. And try not to turn your head aside when your feet are towards you. Probably not a good idea for the neck. And if you like, you can inhale, bring one leg down. Exhale, use that core to bring the leg up. And then go to the other side, inhale. Just notice if it feels a little bit different this time. You can add on the feet towards you at the end of that if you like. I'm doing that about 6 rounds or until you feel complete. Whatever comes first. You can always go longer too. When you feel complete, you're just going to stay with your legs to the sky in Viparita Karani. And bringing the feet a little bit closer to your face if that's comfortable. So Viparita Karani, normally the feet are a little bit towards the face, got a bit of compression on the stomach. See what's comfortable for your back. For your hips, you might want your legs straight up to the sky. You could add the hands up towards the legs as well, just to work on that lymphatic drainage. And you can add some breathing here if you like. Hold after exhale. Inhale, if you can, from the chest to the belly. Exhale from the pelvic floor to the chest. You could do a hold after exhale. Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds, hold 2, or 5, 5, 2, or 6, 6, 3, or 7, 7, 4, 8, 8, 4, etc. If you can compress the belly a little bit by bringing the feet towards you, it's going to get into that second chakra a little bit more. And when you're ready, coming out of it in your own time. Now, if you're comfortable, you might move the bolster down a little bit. You can stretch the legs long. So this depends on you. For some people, this is going to be too much. And in that case, try just one leg straight and the other bent and just see what that feels like. That's how I'm going to do it. My legs don't like to both be straight. This is Setu Bandhasana. It's pose used in Iyengar yoga. And you can have both legs straight. You could tie your ankles together. I'm just going to do this version where I have one leg straight and the other bent, just give my lower back a bit more support. Now, if you want, bring the same arm as leg up overhead. So I've got my right leg extended and I'm going to extend my right arm up. I'm starting with my right just so you can see me better. And I'm just going to stay here and breathe without letting that opposite knee splay out. Try to keep it in. Inhale from the chest down to the belly. Exhale from the pelvic floor up to the chest. Now in this pose, if you want to add a hold in the breath, you can do a hold after inhale, half the length of the inhale. This is to give energy. To bring prana into the body. And to, on a muscular level, just working on giving a bit more length to that psoas, hip flexor area. Just feel how the breath moves your hip. Moves your pelvis. So we worked on this in bridge pose earlier. Can you feel it in a more subtle way now? It's a lot more subtle, so you might not quite feel it. Feel the back arch as you inhale, and slightly contract as you exhale. When you're ready, bring that arm down, bend both knees, and we're going to go to the other side. I hope you like this pose. We haven't done this in a while. And again, you can do one side at a time or both legs. If you've done both legs for a while, you might want to just take a rest. You could go to legs up the wall or child's pose and take a rest. So again, on this side, can you feel that length? That whole side of your body, the arm is overhead if it's comfortable. Doesn't have to be. Inhale from the chest down to the belly. Exhale from the belly up to the chest. Now add a hold after inhale if you like. Half the length of your inhale. Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. And when you feel complete, you can bend the leg. And we're going to remove that bolster. Notice how your lower back feels. Hope you guys are okay. Not seeing too much of you. Some cameras here, but I hope you're okay. I keep looking. Are they alive over there? Okay, so when you're ready, just take a little rest here and bring your knees into your chest. Just making sure there's still life going on at the other end there. Oh, I see some people moving. That's a good sign. Okay, let's just do some apanasana with Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Inhale, legs up to the sky, arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees to the chest. And again, alternatively, you can just hold the backs of the legs. If that feels better for you, if you've got some shoulder stuff going on, you just hold the backs of the legs. It's going to feel really good. Can help you hug the knees into the chest a little bit more. Hoping your lower backs are okay after all that pelvic tilting. So either or. And then if you like, going into happy baby, just to decompress the back and make the spine very neutral. So again, if this is not comfortable, just do apanasana, knees to chest. If it's comfortable, you might be able to straighten the legs as you inhale, exhale, bend, or just stay. All right. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of strength work. We haven't done too much tonight. I'm going to lie on your sides, and we're going to do the sleeping Vishnu pose. And I've been talking about this pose the last couple of weeks. because this pose is all about balance. And hips, well, the whole body and mind has got balance, but in hips in particular, there's a lot of balance stuff going on. Quite literally, they keep us balanced. And your hips often get imbalanced, and that causes all sorts of trouble. So with that happy thought, you're lying here like this. Now, if this is not comfortable, you can put a pillow under your head instead, or a block. Bolster is a bit high, I wouldn't recommend that. Blanket, and you can just be here. I'm going to bend that lower leg. And I'm going to have my arm under my ear. You inhale, extend and lengthen, nice and long. Create some traction in the side of the hip. And exhale, bring the leg up to the sky. And to the thigh. Inhale, extend. And exhale, come up. Now, if this is too much, you can just do regular clamshells, which you might know from physiotherapy. This is like a side Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. You can think of it that way for the yoga teachers in the room. Okay, so sometimes I have students who can't do this full extension. It's too much. But if you can, great. And some of you who have better balance than me can maybe have that lower leg straight. I can do it without moving my arm, but as soon as I move my arm, it all falls apart. So feel free to play with that a bit. Make it harder or easier. So the Yoga Sutras that talk about this balance between the strong and the soft, and about balance in general, this pose is called Anantasana. And in the Yoga Sutra that talks about that, chapter 247, says we get that ananta, that balance, by letting go of any unnecessary tension, which allows us to use our energy very efficiently. And in such a state, we sink into infinite harmony. We're absorbed by infinite harmony. And just take a rest. And in that state of infinite harmony, nothing from the outer world bothers us. So our amygdala must become very, very small. You're not triggered anymore. So I personally love that idea as a focus of my practice. And when you're ready, coming to the other side, I think of all the energy I would save in my life if I didn't get triggered by anything. Doesn't that sound nice? So we're working on it on a physical level, working on that balance of the hips. We're also working on the balance of the nervous system. Inhale, extend, exhale, come up. When you extend, if you do have one hip that's higher than the other or compressed, really point that toe away as hard as you can. And then exhale, come up. Anantasana, sleeping Vishnu pose. Vishnu lies on a bed of snakes. And so the myth goes of Patanjali that the author of the Yoga Sutra is the embodiment of that bed of snakes. And the sutras have right in them this word ananta, which also means the snake, not too hard, not too soft, often translated as harmony. Just like a bed that you might sleep on that's just right, not too hard, not too soft. Inhale, extending, exhale, coming up. I think we've probably done at least 8. When you're ready, just rest. You can always do a bit more if you want. Okay, we're going to go back to the other side, believe it or not. Right at the end of class, I'm going to make you work. So this time we're going to do a different version of this. And this one I learned from one of my yoga therapist trainees from Montreal, Rosie, and she called it around the clock, and I just thought it was kind of brilliant. So you can inhale, you bring your leg up, and exhale, you bring it down. You keep coming to the front, and then you head back towards your foot, and that's it. Or sorry, the lower foot. You could try this one with the leg straight. I think I can do this. You can try if you want with that bottom leg straight, a little harder. Inhale up, exhale down, and you come forward. It's definitely harder with the bottom leg straight. I'm going to bend mine. Can't go as far. And you can play with the angle of the heel. The heel can be up, which uses the glutes a little bit differently. So you can play with that. Or the legs square. This is strengthening the outside of the hips. We worked on the inside a lot in the beginning of the class. Then we stretch the center, and now we're on the outside. So grand finale. Oh, you're still going. All right, I'm gonna let you stop. So don't go beyond capacity. When you're ready, come to the other side. This is literally helping you to balance your hips, balance the way you walk around in the world. Hopefully, allowing you to grip less in your hips, ironically, by strengthening them. Inhale, leg up, exhale down. A variation of Anantasana, which I've been told is called around the clock. So it's like a clock. And it just works the hips a little bit differently than that classical pose. I'll show you the full classical pose in a minute. It looks like Jane Fonda. You might notice that one side is different than the other. You can play with having that heel more up to the sky. When you've had enough, you can go into your side child. I see some of you still going. It's good. All right, go into your side child if you haven't. Rest. Just notice how you're feeling in your hips. I do find that pose very psychologically balancing too. It just feels very calming. All right, we are doing well for time with my plan. You're going to go on your back and rest, and then we're going to end with some pranayama today is the plan. I'm working on being able to do more than an hour of full practice of yoga. So just lying here. And when I move to pranayama, you might decide to just stay and lie here if you've had one of those days where you just don't want to move. That's completely acceptable. I'm putting a bolster under my thighs just to completely relax the lower back, because we did use the lower back a lot tonight. Okay, so just stay there. Walter just came home for a walk. I think he remembered that teaching. All right, so there we go. All right. So if you like, you can visualize yourself lying in warm water. Just floating, being held by that water. I just invite you to feel your left foot and then your right foot. We're just going to pendulate back and forth between the two sides of the body. Just notice any pain in one side, perhaps, and then maybe the other side, no pain. Or maybe they both feel the same. Just notice any differences without judgment, just observing. And then feel the left calf. And the right calf. Left knee. Right knee. Left thigh. Right thigh. Left hip. Right hip. Left side of your torso. Right side of your torso. Left shoulder. Right shoulder. Left arm. Right arm. Left hand. Right hand. Left side of your neck, throat area. Right side of your neck, throat area. Left side of your face. Right side of your face. Forehead. Top of your head. Feel that water down your back body from the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, hands, down the upper back, middle back, lower back, hips, glutes, hamstrings, backs of your knees, backs of your calves, heels, bottoms of your feet, toes, and rest. And ready. Starting to come out of this position. You can stay longer if you like. Rolling on to whatever side's comfortable for you. Classically right side. And coming up to the seated position, your choice, or you can keep lying there. I'm just going to close with the chant today. Didn't get to our pranayama, but I invite you to practice if you like after this. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Namaskaram. Thank you very much.